Let us pray and begin. Heavenly, merciful Father God, we sincerely thank you that you allowed us this precious time to learn about the Bible and our salvation. And please teach us with your word and allow us the understanding that we can gain the right knowledge so that all of us can go to heaven. So we believe that you value all human beings. You created the precious spirit within our body. We want all of us can live our lives wisely and preciously. Within this Bible seminar, please lead us and be with us. We pray in the name of Jesus Christ who loves us. Amen. It's okay? So, hold it. Let's open our Bible. Do you have the Bible? Yeah, in the book of Psalm, chapter 28, starting verse. Book of Psalm, chapter 28, verse 5. Psalm chapter 28, verse 5. Let us read together. Because they do not regard the works of the Lord, nor the operation of his hand, he shall destroy them and not build them up. Here, they, what do you think they refers to? The previous verse, verse 3, if you read one more time. If I read it, do not take me away with the wicked and the workers of iniquity, who speak peace to their neighbors, but evil is in their hearts. The verse 3 said, the wicked, and with the workers of iniquity. So, according to verse 3, the word means the wicked people. So, therefore, the verse 5 is the characteristic of the wicked people in the sight of God. So, according to this verse, you can know that the definition of the wicked man inside of God. So, who are wicked people? Those who do not regard, think the works of the Lord. So, why did they become wicked? Because they did not think, and they were not interested in about God's work. Not interested in God, and also their own soul. And verse 5 also mentioned their end. This is their characteristic and their end. God shall destroy them and not build them up. Yes. The region of old buildings are demolished. Why? New buildings being built again, right? So the region of God destroy is to build something new. Why we debate sometimes? Because destroy the wrong ideas and build new ideas. But the problem is, there are people who do not think at all, right? So most worst case. So it is okay to have a wrong idea or a wrong doubts or the various doubts and misunderstanding about God. It will be okay because God will lead you to the correct way. But those who do not think, God just destroy and do not build them up. This is the worst kind of people. People who don't think and not interested. Right? The reason why I read this verse first of today's scripture is that during 4 days, quite long day, right? So during this day, I want you to think, right? Deeply. Yeah. The problem of this people in this era, they do not think deeply about themselves, about God, or the death. So I want to mention about what era, so many eras passed already, but what era are we living in now? What do you think? What era are we living in? So the scholars say 19th century, the age of radio, the modernism, the 20th century, the age of television, postmodernism, and 21st century, the age of internet. The age of television, we are able to see something which is very far away, but in the age of internet is sort of the age of flood of information. So many information. So before the age of internet, the people who gain the information quickly or abundantly, they can be a good position in the world. But in our era, quite different. Anyone, even the very young child and primary school student, they also have some mobile in their hand, right? They can gather lots of information. So these days is really flood of information. Postmodernism. So the scholars say each era has its own characteristics. So they said the 21st century of human identity can be mentioned as the age of amusements. Yeah. So most people in our era, in our time, are addicted to something. Entertainment, so for example, TV, or computer, or mobile phones and game films, sports, salads, and sex, drink, drug. Yeah, they are into most of these things. Of course, it would be okay that entertainment or amusement for so short time of break is good, we need, but the purpose of life should not be entertainment and amusement, right? So some people, their purpose of life is enjoy, right? Amusements. But the problem is, scholars have observed people in our time, and they found that people study hard and earn money hard in order to use that money and time for their joy. I want you to think, you study hard, right, in your school. What is your purpose? Yeah. You spend lots of time and study. Sometimes you don't want to go to school, right? Every day you want to go. Sometimes you don't want. And studying, you said it, I don't want to study, right? Yeah. Of course. But why? Why we have to? There should be some reason, right? I want you to think about that, the purpose. So, I want to focus on the name of the word amusement, right? This word amusement is like consists of few words. You know, what is the meaning of muse? You know, anyone? What's the meaning of the muse? Yeah. So I searched in the dictionary. A prefix, then not or without. And muse means become absorbed in thoughts. For example, to think about something carefully and thoroughly. Right? Musing about what might have been. Yeah. And also to think or say something in a thoughtful way. Yeah. Do you like your dictionary? Yeah. Which means, muse means think deeply. And A means not and without. And MENT is noun suffix, make some word and noun, right? So, in sum up, then what does it mean? The amusements. Amusement means, muse means think, thought. A means without. So without, think. So, we are living in the age of amusements, the age of not thinking. But this is a problem. People live very hard. We have lots of information, but they do not think. Why they live very hard, right? So there are things people should not think about, and there are things they should not think about and should think about. Right? Yeah. So there are things to pay attention to, and things not to. Some things is not very good for students to focusing, right? Some things, but on the other hand, something they have to pay attention to. However, we are living in the era does not distinguish between two. So how mindless we living now. So I found some journal writing from Jewish journal, The Age of Amusement. This is the title. And what does it say about. Let me read. A gentleman died and his family asked me to officiate his funeral. So we agreed to meet, his children and I, to prepare his funeral. A man passed away. Sitting around the spacious dining room table, and asked them, "Tell me about your father," because the father passed away. After a long silence, one of the sons volunteered. Dad loved golf. "Yes, golf is good," I responded. "What else did he love? What were his passions?" "Golf." They all agreed. Just golf. Just golf. What did he dream of? What were his value and his cause? Well, he always wanted to live on a golf course. So I prepared a eulogy, his address and a funeral, right? Of a golf. It's not so hard to do, right? All the while, I felt a tragic weight of this moment. How can a human life be made so small, reduced to this, to golf? When I was a kid, he's writing, he's reminding about his life. There were 7 channels on TV. Once you survey those 7 and found nothing interesting, you turn them set off. Today, there are enough TV channels that you can spend an entire evening not actually watching anything, but just flipping through all the channels, surfing the dial. If not, there's no TV, there's the internet, DVDs, pay-per-view, that's at home. How many channels in YouTube? 100? Countless, right? It's all free. If you try to, then you can stay all night. Right? Very, very interesting things. But the problem is, they make you not think. Right? It's amazing. People can live without thinking. God created brain. Why? Make us to think something. Right? Yeah. So 1,000 years ago, Bethel purchased in the age of faith, so the church was the central architectural features of a town. 500 years ago, we began an age of industry, and the factory was the town's notable structure. In today's age of amusement, the mall and its cineplex is the town's most important place. Is that true? Yeah. We can see that some old buildings are demolished. They build a new multiplex or cinetown, right? The place of amusements. For Tillich, the Protestant theologian argued that every person has a God. What does it mean? Everyone has their own God. God is defined as each person's object of ultimate concern. What they really wanted to have, right? Ultimately. But what if the object of ultimate concern is precisely not to have an object of ultimate concern? A kind of human being does not live. Yes, in age of amusement, religion is dangerous because religion asks unknowing questions about life. Religion points out our shallowness, our weightlessness. Religion demands our attachment to matter of eternal significance. The obsession with meaning or purpose undermining amusement embarrasses us. They get in a way of thought. This is just one example, but how about you? Do you study for what? So God said, the wicked do not regard the works of the Lord. Those who think, then God will help them. Right? So this is the book nowadays published. The name is The Shallows. How the internet is changing the way we read, think, and remember. Nicholas Carr, he wrote this book. In Korean version, people who do not think. Internet changed our structure of our brain. We say that smartphone, right? The phone is really getting smarter and smarter. But how about us? Are we smarter? Yeah. So thinking machine and non-thinking human. People do not think anymore. So the machine, they think instead of human. This is the book nowadays. This is the problem. He's the French photographer. He designed some interesting pictures like this. What does it mean? What are they doing? Yeah, they're very concentrated about something they saw, right? Is it our situation? Yeah. They do not think and concern. And even old people, the same. Even they are in the museum, they are into the mobiles, the smartphones addiction. Even young people panicky when denied mobiles. When they deny mobiles, they keep in panic. Have you seen the small, it happened in very recently in the US. One teacher tried to try to block one student from a secondary school student to doing his smartphones. He jumped him and kicked him, and he's nearly going to hospital. So, a very big problem. Smartphones are nation obsession. So I want you, I'm not trying to say that throw away your smartphones. We can use it, right? But in a good way. Yeah. In this time, at least, lay aside all the smartphones and think about our soul. Right? Matthew chapter 11, 15 to 17, let us read it together. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. What shall I liken this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to their companions and saying, play a flute for you, and you did not dance. We mourn to you, and you did not lament. Yes, even Jesus' generation, people in Jesus' era, even they listened from Jesus directly, right? Even they saw many miracles, but they did not notice Jesus is from heaven. Right? Why? Their hearts, their soul become dull. They did not know anything. Even people playing flutes before them, they did not dance. Mourn to some people pass away, but they did not lament. Their hearts become very, very hard. Not thinking. This generation. So this is a zombie, smartphone plus zombie. They are also sucked into their phones. Right? Can you see many of your friends becoming like this? Yeah. This is really true. They do not regard. So, these are subjects that we must think this time. Today, only 3 subjects I want to raise. The first, what do you think? What are the subjects that we must think about? Many things to think, which are important. But the first of all, what the Bible says is, one day you will die. That subject we must think about. Have you thought about someday you will die? Yeah. Those who think about this subject, they will be wise, according to the Bible. Yeah. To be wise, think this. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2, let us find our Bible. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2. Let us read together. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the destiny of every man. The living should take this to heart. Yes. We use the word better many times, right? Why are you coming here? Because it is better than going elsewhere, right? That's why you came here. It is better to go house of mourning than to go house of feasting. For that is the destiny of every man. The living, include you, the living should take this to heart. Yes. So getting good grades in the school and going to good university and getting a good job, they are good, right? Of course. But there are more important things than that. So those who think of their death, they can be blessed this time. They are easily to find their purpose of life. And Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 12, let's read together. Moreover, no man knows when his hour will come. As fish are caught in the cruel net, or birds are taken in a snare, so men are trapped by the evil times that fall unexpectedly upon them. Yeah. when are you going to die? What time? What time do you want to die? Maybe we can want, right? We want, but it's not happen as we wish, right? Do you know when are you going to die? If we knew it, that would be really great, right? Right before that moment we live really hard, then we can schedule our lives. But the problem is, no man knows when his hour will come. That's why even we are young, right? But death does not come to only old men. Young people can pass away, of course. The one call no one can decline is death. From Monday to Sunday, at any time, Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27. And as it is appointed unto man once to die, but after this, the judgments. And the Bible, the book of Ecclesiastes, was written by the King Solomon, was renowned as the smartest person in human history. He encourages us to think about your death. Then you can be very wise. I read some article which is very interesting. Have you heard of appointment in Samara? Yeah. This is very famous. Just made up story, but it's quite instructive. There was a merchant in Baghdad who sent his servant to market to buy provisions, and in a little while, the servant came back, white and trembling, and said, the servant came, very trembling, Master, just now when I was in the marketplace, I was jostled by a woman in the crowd, and when I turned, I saw it was death that jostled me. The servant encountered a woman named Death. Of course, this is made up story, but she looked at me and made a threatening gesture. Now, lend me your horse, and I will ride away from this city, it's Baghdad, right? And avoid my fate. I will go to Samara, and there Death will not find me. He tried to flee from that place because there was death, right? He really tried to change his destiny. So the merchant lent him his horse. The servant mounted it, and he doffed his spurs and his flank. As fast as the horse could gallop, he went. He fled away like wind, right? Very quickly. Then the merchant went down the marketplace in Baghdad. He saw me, Death, standing in the crowd, and he came to me and said, Why did you make threatening gesture to my servant when you saw him this morning? And the Death answered, That was not a threatening gesture, I said. It was only a start of surprise. I was astonished to see him in Baghdad because I had an appointment with him tonight in Samara. Do you know what that means? So the servant met Death in Baghdad, so he tried to flee to another place named Samara. But the Death said, I have an appointment to meet him in Samara. That means we do not know the hour. The short footage, many people, they are very lucky to survive. This can happen to us at any time. A Mary is born. Guess what would happen? Look closely. Have you seen? One more time. If 0.1 seconds delayed, it's gone. Not only this, this man is taking a picture. What will happen? Something come from backside. what happened? The shot, the gun shot, and his head fell down. That means the bullets go through his head. This, of course, it can be happened, right? So we live very dangerous era. So once you pass away, you cannot come to this world again. And also we need to think what happens after death. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, here we go. This is important. We all die, right? This is a fact that we all die. But what will happen after this death? Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 20, 21. Ecclesiastes 3, 20 and 21. Let us read together. All go to one place. All are from the dust, and all return to dust. Who knows the spirit of sons of men, which goes upward, and the spirit of an animal, which goes down to the earth? Yes, the Bible said, who knows the spirit of the sons of men, which goes upward? The Bible mentioned, who knows? People do not know, right? If you ask your friends in school and teacher, hey, do you know what happened after we die? Then do you think they can give you the proper answer? Maybe not. They may show you some answer what they think, right? But we cannot say this is a truth. But the Bible said, spirit of sons of men, which goes upward. We need to think this deeply, right? We all die in someday in the future. Some point, all definitely die. Then this is not the end. Your spirit, because you are sons of men, right? We all sons of men. And this is not the end. We go upward. What will happen? This is why this Bible study is really important. So we are we live in the house, right? Or we live in the house. But the Bible said, how much more those who dwell in the house of clay? This is like house of clay. This is, we call this is my arm, right? My head, my leg, even my heart. Is heart me? No. My heart, we say. My arm. This is not me. This is just part of mine, right? Then, where is I am? This is my house. The roof, a window, and dining room, and boiler, and toilet. Okay? We are perfect house. When house is demolished, you move to another house, right? Likewise, when they get older and older, then our house is all destroyed, then we move to God. Right? This is the house. 12-year-old house, right? Yeah. How old are you? 11-year-old house. Very tall house and very big house. Yeah. But the fact that we live in the house. Soul is me, right? This is me. And body is like a house. So Job chapter 19 verse 27, 6, let us read together. And after my skin is